Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because today, well, we're basically charting a map to the future. We're going to take a really close look at how artificial intelligence isn't just some cool passing tech trend, it's actually creating totally unprecedented wealth and just completely ripping up traditional business models as we sprint toward the year 2030. If you've been wondering exactly where the global economy is heading, and more importantly, how you can position yourself for what's coming next, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get into it.
So 46, that's the actual number of brand new billionaires created globally last year alone, and it was directly driven by the artificial intelligence boom. AI has officially become the dominant wealth engine on the planet. I mean, we aren't talking about theoretical, down-the-road money here. This is massive, tangible value being generated right now by the founders and creators who are literally building the infrastructure of tomorrow. But look, you have to realize this wealth transfer is completely a two-way street. On one hand, we've got this insane AI-driven wealth boom, right? You've got NVIDIA's Jensen Huang seeing his wealth swell to $172 billion. Figure AI's Brett Adcock saw a tenfold increase, hitting $16 billion. And Anthropic alone created 7 brand new billionaires. But then, on the flip side, we are witnessing a historic destruction of wealth in legacy software. The founders of Atlassian, they literally saw their wealth slashed in half. Michael Bloomberg's wealth dropped 13%. So the AI revolution definitely has a shadow side. It's actively penalizing companies that fail to adapt. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, disrupting traditional business models.
A massive, massive driver of all this disruption is a concept called AI as a service, or AIaaS. You know, traditional businesses used to spend millions, sometimes billions, building these massive, clunky internal infrastructures. Today, they are ditching that completely. Actually, scratch that. They aren't just ditching it. They are sprinting away from it. Instead, they're plugging directly into cloud-based AI to handle their analytics, customer service, and daily apps. By just renting this intelligence from the cloud, companies are massively reducing their operational costs and instantly boosting their profit margins. It's literally plug-and-play efficiency. And this whole thing leads us to a broader trend of the fourth industrial revolution, the shift to service-centric AI. Companies are totally abandoning those old linear product-centric models. They aren't just selling you a static physical item anymore. Think about Tesla for a second. Sure, they sell you a car, but the real value is in the over-the-air AI software updates that constantly improve the vehicle after you buy it. Businesses everywhere are moving to hyper-personalized experiences. They're using predictive analytics to adapt in real time, letting AI automate the mundane, boring stuff so humans can actually focus on creative problem solving. Which brings us to Section 2, transforming massive global industries. We're going to look at how AI is completely taking over the enterprise space. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening. McKinsey ran an analysis on technical automation, and what they found regarding cognitive capabilities is pretty staggering. Generative AI is matching median human cognitive performance way, way faster than anyone expected. To put that into perspective, milestones for natural language understanding that the experts swore wouldn't happen until 2027, yeah, those were actually achieved in 2023. The entire timeline for human-level AI performance has just been radically accelerated. Because of this massive cognitive leap, market demand in specific sectors is just exploding. Take the AI cybersecurity market. It's valued at $19.2 billion in 2024, but it is projected to absolutely skyrocket to $64.5 billion by 2030. And the why is simple. The tools are proving their worth. They are reducing critical threat response times by over 50% in hybrid clouds and lowering overall breach costs by a massive 40%. At this point, it's really no longer a luxury for a business. It's a completely mandatory defense mechanism. We are seeing similar, just incredible gains in healthcare too. AI is totally accelerating pharmacogenomics. If you aren't familiar, that's the study of how your specific genes influence your response to drugs. By analyzing these massive genomic datasets, AI is speeding up drug discovery by 65%. But even more impressively, it's improving cancer treatment accuracy by 38%. Which allows doctors to tailor genetic treatments to the individual. That translates to reducing prescription complications by 26%. So it's literally saving lives, while simultaneously saving billions of dollars. Incredible, right? Now, this brings us to a really fascinating study on global supply chains. Researchers ran this simulation called the Beer Game. It's a classic supply chain management test. But this time, they replaced the human players with autonomous AI agents. The result? No contest. An out-of-the-box reasoning AI model completely outperformed human cohorts from Georgia Tech. When properly optimized, these AI agents reduce total supply chain costs by up to 67% relative to the human teams. Just let that sink in for a second. 67%. But as with everything, there's a catch, and it's a very important one. Despite this crazy high average performance, autonomous AI can sometimes be highly unreliable. This introduces what researchers are calling the agent bullwhip effect. Basically, without human-designed guardrails in place, like hard budget constraints, these AI agents can literally panic buy. A tiny fluctuation in data can cause an AI agent to place massive erratic orders, completely crashing the whole supply chain system. So while the technology is incredibly powerful, it absolutely requires strict policy guardrails to keep it in check. All right, shifting gears a bit, Section 3, the 2030 creator economy. So you might be wondering, how does all of this massive enterprise disruption translate into real income potential for beginners and solo creators? Well, the old influencer model, it's dying. For the last decade, creators built massive audiences on centralized platforms and basically just rented that attention to the highest bidder through sponsorships. The 2030 model is entirely different. It's all about the portability of affinity. Creators are evolving into decentralized product studios. They're building assets that compound, fully owning your audience, their data, and their distribution channels, rather than just renting out space on an app. So how do you actually execute this? Here is the step-by-step formula for the next generation creator. First up, you build a high-affinity community based on deep trust. Second, you partner with elite product builders to create genuine, undeniable value. And third, you use unique aesthetic distribution. By leveraging AI agents, a single solo creator can now operate at the scale, speed, and efficiency of a massive traditional agency. It's a real game changer. A really great way to wrap your head around this new decentralized business model is to think of it like an automatic cappuccino maker. In the legacy business world, sharing revenue meant hiring a bunch of accountants and dealing with massive friction. But by 2030, tokenization and smart contracts are going to act exactly like that cappuccino maker. You just press a button, and the value, the data, and the distribution are automatically frothed and allocated perfectly to the community members who supported you. It completely removes the friction of hiring employees and turns your passive audience into a highly active, incentivized workforce. All of this is giving rise to a completely new AI creative class. The actual day-to-day operations of an entrepreneur are fundamentally changing. Graphic designers are evolving into prompt engineers, relying way more on their ability to just talk to the machine. AI agents are out there handling all the mundane email outreach. Creators are building internal business logic 10 times faster using just natural language. Essentially, the solo entrepreneur is becoming a SaaS business with a personality. They're letting AI do all the heavy lifting while they sleep. So, the crucial point is coming up right here in Section 4, the biggest 2030 opportunity. When you look at industry forecasts, they outline a very clear path to where the biggest money and opportunities are heading next. Right now, as we approach 2025, we're deep in the integration and automation phase, where enterprises are mainly focused on standardizing their AI analytics. But by 2027, we enter cognitive defense, where autonomous AI starts performing complex threat triage on its own. And then by 2029, we hit self-adaptive security, featuring entirely self-healing autonomous networks. The real opportunity for you lies in building businesses and skill sets today that can surf ahead of these massive waves of automation. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. By the time 2030 rolls around, will you still be a passive consumer just renting out your attention to massive platforms? Or will you use these incredible tools to build your own compounding digital assets and your very own autonomous AI empire? The technology is already here, and the great wealth transfer has absolutely begun. The choice of how you participate, well, that's entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.